So I look straight into the camera when I sit down.
Yeah.
I do camera. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Howdy, y'all.
The Cape Epic is a completely different race what I'm used to normally.
Anything can happen.
You have these moments out there where you think nobody's coming.
It's super hard, 8 days of racing. It asks a lot from the body.
Mentally, it is exhausting just trying to stay on it the whole time.
You're never allowed to be away from your partner for more than a minute or two. With the right mindset, with the right preparation, anything can happen.
Probably the hardest part of being an athlete to manage pressure.
We know that we are doing this for a good cause, and that's the reason why we get out on our bikes, and that's the reason why we're going to go through the suffering.
On a bike, he zones out and he's dangerous.
There was no way in hell I was going to leave her behind.
Find the flow and play your cards right during the whole race.
Each epic is completely different.
There are so many dynamics that play into racing the Cape Epic and doing well at the Cape Epic.
You work together from the moment the gun goes off.
The fear that I had lately has become a really hard reality at the moment.
Teams that fully trust each other, they are most of the time always the ones right at the front of the race. And if they're not, they trust each other to make it back at it. Those are the fighters in the back.
Yeah, me and Wout had really big plans for this Cape Epic. No hiding that. But I was asking myself with this level, what's best for the team, what's best for Wout.
Trust is something that we all need in life. When it comes to something like the Cape Epic, it's a huge segment to be successful within this race.
Yesterday, they decided that I won't be doing the Cape.
You have to trust the choice of your partner.
It was so cool to see Sophia win the race back in 2022 when I was commentating on the race. I'm Annika Langvad. I'm riding for Specialized Off-Road in 2025. I'm very grateful and happy that she will be my partner for this year's race.
You have to trust your partner that he puts the same amount of effort in to get ready for the race.
Yeah, so this year it's going to be quite different, riding with the non-specialized rider. Hi, I'm Matt Beers and I ride for Specialized Off-Road Racing.
And then once it starts, you have to trust that person. Every single minute you're out there racing at the highest level.
Yeah, knowing the guy who rides in front of you, behind you, next to you, in and out is definitely an advantage. We are not forced to communicate that much, which keeps our tactic maybe a bit secret.
There's so much more trust that you have to put into your mountain bike. You're literally trusting that your bike will take you over those rocky sections. It will turn.
Trusting starts already early on, before you sign up for this race.
The secret to my success at the Cape Epic is that I find it very joyful to shape a new partnership with a partner that I haven't ridden with before.
Candice Lill definitely stands out. I don't think people give her enough credit for how she races with her partner and bringing the best out in her partner.
I don't know how many Apex I've actually done. I think it's around 7 or 8 or something.
It's true that the more you win, the easier it is to put a lot of pressure on yourself.
Many of those years were learning and cutting off proper hard.
I do remember my very first Cape Epic overall victory with Ariane Lüttig. It was a very career-defining moment for me.
We've learned over the last 2 years what the team was lacking in. I think Tristan brings back also a fire within the team.
Both of us are quite similar riders.
He's cutthroat, man. If this guy's in the zone, stay the f*** away.
The experience of this race is also a big benefit for a team combination.
Coming back and trying to win it a second time or even a third time, that is even more difficult. The first time I won in 17, we didn't really had expectations. We just came actually to try to win it the next year, but then some of a sudden we were in the position. And if you want to come back and win the race, it's much more difficult.
In the first edition, I had a feeling that no one took us too serious, so it was kind of easy, I mean, towards the end of 2022. And we definitely felt that on the second and third Cape Epic, they were watching us.
Talking about all the big setups and the support structure and everything, that gives you a nice peace of mind, because you know, like, there's someone else that will help you out when something happens. But that does not mean that you can't show up here with very little experience, very little support, and still do very well.
The Speed company is like, when they won it the first time, they surprised everybody. And winning a second time, it's so much harder.
They proved us that it is possible. When they came here the first time, they had very little experience. I think 2 people looking after them, and they still walked away with the win. They really took every single stage as it would be their first and last. They went in there and they just attacked from the get-go, and they just rode incredibly strong. Not much tactics in mind, just riding themselves to the front of each day, and they managed to get away with it. So even if you're not a team with like lots of money or budget, you can still come here, and the chance to do well is almost as big as anyone else.
Guess it's my turn now. My name is Lukas Baum, riding for Speed Company together with Georg Egger. Hey guys. First of all, in our first edition of the Cape Epic, we were not able to afford anything else but one camper and the help of my father, so it was a family business from the start.
For sure, they changed a lot of things. We are more experienced than ever. We also had a really bad experience now last year. Not only good vibes coming with the Cape Epic, but I think it's not a bad thing. We messed it up one time, and now we learned some things from that experience as well. Yeah, in the end, it's I think the same game as always. Stay cool and control.
I think for 25, I think Georg and Lukas will be, I think they're hungry to prove themselves. They obviously, they can win, and they know they can win.
With Georg and Lukas, they're both also really strong in the flats. Like when they're pushing and you get the little gaps opening up within the group, and you know, okay, now it's now or never.
Here we go again.
It is harsh out here.
Are you strong enough? Are you prepared enough?
Hi, my name is Sarah Hill. The Epic has an amazing way of peeling every single layer off of you. So you come in ready, prepared, strong. You're like, you've got all your armor on. And then each day it just strips a layer off of you.
Resisting like the terrain, I think that's a big thing in Cape Epic.
I think our advantage is just being local riders, having raced around the region here. We sort of know the terrain, the set of challenges that comes with the terrain and the weather. Also managing yourself day after day.
Yeah, it's unpredictable. It's over so many days.
When it comes to the equipment or the things that happen out there, when you're part of the staff team, you have very little you can do. Actually, you can do nothing. It's all up to the athletes to figure it out and to work it out. You can only prepare the stuff for them. There's 3 tank zones in each stage, or most of the stages, and you have all sorts of spares in there that the rider can use and take, and also the tools that you need for, but they do have to fix it themselves. So each of those riders needs to have a very good understanding of their own equipment and also trying to improvise.
The conditions also, is it hot, is it cold, is it raining, how's the field doing, how are the other people feeling, are there crashes, are there mechanicals, all those things you have to take into account.
You need to go out there for battle. It's tough, everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to be the macho man, and if you crack mentally and you let the wheel go, someone else is going to take the wheel and take that opportunity away from you. So you need to be willing to fight.
It's a bond that comes from fear, and it's a bond that comes from that pure exhilaration. You know, they say you have to experience pain to bond with somebody. You have to suffer with somebody to really get close to them. Like, through suffering comes unity, and my bike has given me that. I am Mamello. I am 41 years young, and I am a private chef by profession and a avid cyclist turned mountain biker. You don't know what will happen if you don't try. You got to try, because at the end of trying is triumph.
There's a name you mentioned, and her name is Annika.
Yes.
Sometimes I do get a little bit of a reminder or a little note or comment or something that,
oh, she's just like an animal.
Maybe some riders are a little bit scared. But yeah, you know, I'm just a human being. There's nothing to be afraid of.
I think Annika is an absolute beast.
She set the standard in my mind as, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is how well I do it.
I've tried many times before to go into a stage race with a partner that I did not race with before, or even ride with that much. I'm actually not too worried about it, because often, I mean, we're not rookies. We know what we're doing, and we have a lot of experience. And I feel like amongst teammates, there's always a lot of respect, because you know you're here for a reason, because you're qualified for it. And all focus then goes into shaping a good partnership.
Now, if I think about the Cape Epic, I mean, early stage it was always a battle between Christoph Sauser and Karl Platt, and then later on Jaroslav came in as well. And on the female side, Annika Langvad and Candice and Kate, and then there's so many that really stand out when you talk about the Cape Epic. But then also lately, Ahmed Beers and Nino Schurter.
Another team which probably works good together is
Nino and Filippo, I think, will be very strong.
So I'm talking specifically about Nino.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm Nino Schurter, Swiss mountain biker. I'm professional since 2008.
He's a good friend of mine, so I wouldn't say anything that offends him. But it's the reality. I think, a lot of people is asking why Nino Schurter hasn't won as many Cape Epics as he won World Championships.
36 World Cup wins, 10 World Championship titles, 2 times I won the Cape Epic.
I'm not really scared of anyone really. I mean, there's definitely good riders, but I respect riders for sure. Yeah, I think there's going to be some cool dynamics throughout the whole race.
Yeah, there are riders that are so well accomplished, like Nino, for example, that everyone has been looking up for, I would say, during the last 10, 15 years, who are really special.
Not everyone spends enough time before the race to be able to read the body language. Some of the athletes that have done it many times together, other events before, they don't even speak anymore. They know the body language of each other so well that no words are needed.
We are not forced to communicate that much, which keeps our tactic maybe a bit secret, or doesn't allow others to read our next moves. Just by the looks of things, we actually know what's going on in each other's mind, and makes it more efficient. I think non-verbal communication is sometimes more efficient than verbal one, in my opinion.
With the youngsters, or some of the combinations that only met maybe the week before, it is super important to communicate, because sometimes when people suffer, they start smiling, and the opposite way around. So you never know exactly what your partner is going through if you don't talk, if you don't know the body language just yet. So it is crucial to have those conversations within the race and have them maybe not right in the bunch when everyone else can hear what you currently say, if you feel good, if you feel bad. Like, keep that as a tactic within the race, but with your partner you have to communicate.
Well, the Cape is such high level that you can make a plan, but it's all more about take the opportunities you have. You can make a really good game plan, and then you're flat in the first kilometer, and then you just hold on, or other teams crash or whatever. There's like so many things going on that it's difficult to make a game plan. But good thing for me about we speak Dutch. We have to take care a little bit about Matt because he can pick up some words, I guess. But in general, there are not many Dutch-speaking riders in the front, so that's cool. I understand German, Wout understands French, so we are like quite covered if people start talking. I think the communication is just to watch each other, see how fresh they are. If they're still smiling, we can do something. If you also, I know Wout's body language, he knows mine. He also knows when not to push in the front and when to push in the front. And it's also about communication all the time. That's the most important.
You have to be honest with yourself and with your partner.
Something that people don't appreciate is the ability to say, I don't feel good, I'm not having a great stage, like you're having an off day, and to like communicate to your partner where your edge is something that XC racers are not used to doing.
If you fake it, you're not gonna make it because it's 8 days of racing.
Like if you just dig way deeper than your body's ready for on stage 1 or 2, like you can be buried halfway through the race and then be not much use to anyone. So I think Annika was really good with me. Like I was the rider who was gonna have to say uncle. And we were really good about like being honest in those moments of like the pace is okay, the pace is not okay. And that I think was really used to our advantage. And there were a lot of places where because we paced well, I could push actually way harder than was expected over the top of a climb or in an attack. But if I had just kind of like hung on a little too long in other places, like I might have been done.
If you fake it on the first day and you go too hard and you go all in, whatever it is, be honest with yourself. Know your limits, your capabilities and everything, and talk to your partner because, yeah, together you're going to be in there. So being honest is super important with everything.
We started into the race knowing we could do well. If there's maybe a team that is racing in the front and they have a bad puncture or something, you want to take advantage of that and try and make up time. You have to go into these different stages with a plan, but you also have to be adjustable to that plan, that you can take it as it goes. But with having Candice Lill there, yeah, it was going to be a hard race.
In the Cape Epic specifically, the women are insanely strong, like mentally also, and just to push at that percentage of threshold.
At the time, a lot of things can happen during the whole week of racing, even within the preparation. And the first rule, I would say, is never panic.
I had my struggles during the race, and then we came closer to the end of the race and we were sitting in second and third, and we were lucky in a way that the specialized team had a crash and they were suffering from some injuries.
See where you are, what you can do, how much time you have left to adapt or change certain things, because sometimes you even have to do that during the week or even during the race. You know, you have a mechanical, don't panic, don't cry, doesn't help, find a solution.
I remember Vera and I were racing, and I think it was through the Slunhoek Worcester area. It was very rocky, very difficult, and some of the teams one team had a mechanical, and then the next team was having a really bad day, and she was just feeling really, really flat. And we moved from 6th place to 5th place to 4th place. And I just remember coming through that finish line and both of us were just like, what?
At an Epic, a lot has to come together and play into your favor to really do well. And I always say crashes, mechanicals, nutrition, it's all part of the week. It's not just racing your bike. So you have to be able to ride clean, to not crash, to not get mechanicals. There's so many things that play a role. And that played all into our favor, because then on the second last day, Amy broke a rim and we could get a big gap out of them. And then, yeah, we went into the leader's jersey.
If you want to win the Cape Epic, you better be obsessed about it.
What does winning mean to you?
Ugh, that's such a stupid question.
Think about it, dream about it, but put the hard work in, otherwise it's not going to happen.
Just don't be a lekker.
Winning is being consistent with myself and honoring myself and my body every single day, waking up. Winning is getting out of bed when I don't want to get out of bed.
It's a super hard task, but I mean, we are racing one of the best races in the world, and I think after everybody is super happy and it's all worth it.
I mean, winning it's great, it's fun, it's what we work for, it's what we train for, but it doesn't define you. You can win races and you can win at life. Those are two different things.
Also wer auch immer da jetzt zusieht, ich hoffe, ihr habt gut hingehört, und eine schlechte Nachricht noch, leider kommt die Nachricht zu spät bei euch an, weil Zeit zum Trainieren ist wirklich keine mehr. Also sehen wir uns dann am Start.